Welcome to the Monday Movie Club. Look at Joel and I both got haircuts.
No, hair's
Both look fabulous.
the dad in me says I got a hair's cut because
You got them all cut.
got them all.
All right. This week, Mark says the Three Musketeers from 1993 is the better version, and the Frankenlist says so as well. It's number 5093, which is 223 spots higher than the other one. But we should have watched the 1948 version because that one is number 2602.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying. I'm Frank Gaffney. With us, Joel, Captain America. Is that what I'm
Yep,
looking at?
Captain America.
No Musketeer stuff in the background. You have so much crap. You should have crap for every movie.
I should, but not this crappy movie.
Oh,
Them's fighting
them's fighting
words. I'll
words.
meet you at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, and
I'm
I'll meet
already
you at one
I'm
o'clock.
I'm busy at 12, 1, 2, and 3, so
We'll meet you at 4. Meet me at 12.
I don't
All
do
right.
it before.
Joel Fenster, of course. Mark Woltitz-Gartner has a picture up since this was his choice. Cringer and Goldfuck looking right at the camera.
He knew.
And Nanny King, all refreshed after being on vacation.
Yeah.
Raring to go. All right. Mark, why the Three Musketeers again after we just watched 2 of them last week?
Well, first of all, no. I picked this one, and then Joel picked those other movies to challenge me.
Oh, challenge.
And I picked this because I love it. This is my idea of a fun swashbuckling adventure.
And you've had so many of those.
Yes, many.
All right. Well, here's the plot. It's pretty much the same as last week. Here, it's Chris O'Donnell who travels to Paris hoping to become a musketeer, only to find they've been disbanded by Cardinal Richelieu, played by Tim Curry here, who hopes to usurp the throne. I didn't make this up.
They
Fortunately,
did.
there are 3 musketeers, Kiefer Sutherland, Oliver Platt, and Charlie Sheen, who have refused to lay down their weapons and continue to protect their king. And then Chris O'Donnell joins them. Whatever. Basically the same as last week. And Rebecca De Mornay as Faye Dunaway. Here's the observations while I was watching the movie. It's the first thing it said a Stephen Herrick film. Like he's somebody. I'm like, who's
Right?
Stephen Herrick? What do
Yeah,
I
I've
Never heard of him.
No idea.
Not the Stephen Herrick. Right this way, Mr. Herrick. Didn't know it was you, Mr. Herrick. And then, to quote Mark, 2.5 minutes of boring opening titles. The thing you complain about all the time.
I didn't even notice it.
Oh, of course you didn't. And the opening was a little bit slapsticky as well.
Yes, agreed.
And then they're disbanding the Musketeers. Was that in the other movie too? Was that why there was only 3 of them? No,
Nope.
There was no disbanding.
Nope.
Okay.
But historically, they were?
No. Let's just say the previous last week's movies were more historically accurate than this week's movie, which makes Braveheart look more historically accurate than anything else.
It's a
I thought
book.
you're going to say then Dancing with
The book was historically accurate too.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so and of course the same 3 duels in one day thing. And was the king 12 years old in the other movie?
Yeah, really?
That was one of the things they didn't quite get right in the first film, is that Louis XIII was a young king, but
okay.
I'm not sure how old he was exactly when this part of these events took place. I don't think he was quite that young. He's probably younger than Jean-Pierre Cassel, but older than
Gabrielle Anwar was only like 20 or something in this too.
Yeah, but Anne, I can't remember if Anne was older or younger than him at the time.
Well, definitely hotter.
Okay.
And
then so the
wearing, oof.
What?
His wig was hanging.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I heard you say something about back hair. I didn't know what you were talking about.
That
hair. The sword fighting was definitely better in this movie, and there were gadgets. That was cute when the knife went free. And then plot. Charlie Sheen is not a good actor. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't think he was that bad.
Yeah, I just
I didn't
can't.
think any of them were that bad, really.
Yeah.
And then, but when Tim Curry sat on the throne, I expected Riff Raff, Magenta, and Columbia to show up.
Well, sure.
You sound like Danielle
Uh
now.
yeah. And then of course, no way was Charlie Sheen dead. I'm like, come on, that's a bogus thing. And then it's at the end, like an old timey movie. And then the song, All for One, Brian Adams, Rod Stewart, and Sting, three vocaliers, if you will. But shouldn't it have been four? Shouldn't there have been a fourth singer?
It's called The Three Musketeers.
I know, but these are four. All right. Okay, and reluctantly I have to say I agree with Mark. This one is better, but let's not get crazy. I'm giving it 2.75. Not quite 3 stars enjoyable and not quite 2.5 meh. So 2.75 for me. And were you less tortured this week?
I was less tortured this week, except by the actor who I looked up, never heard. Well, I didn't look him up, but I looked up his name. Never heard of who played, and I thought, please don't be in the rest of this movie, Gerard. Oh my God, he was killing me.
He's
First
not.
of all,
His lady
all right.
speeches.
I'm gonna come to the defense of this film for one reason and
I
one
knew
reason
it. I knew
only.
it. Doctor Who.
He's from Doctor Who.
Paul, at this point he was not the eighth Doctor yet. He's still 6 years away from that, but no, 3 years away from that. But if you've ever seen him in anything else, he has range. And yes, this is the goofiest fucking thing he's ever done, acting wise, but he does it well because you hate him so much you don't want to see him anymore in the film. And yet you probably didn't realize you also saw him as a different character in the movie.
I read that too. And
Yeah.
no, I definitely didn't realize it because I only saw one flamingly gay character in this
Yeah.
movie with a girl scream. Oh my God. I think that's the only note I wrote.
Joel, what else did what other character was he?
He's one of the Cardinals' guards at the beginning of towards the beginning of the film. He actually has some lines as this other character. And one of the things I was watching for is how often does he appear as the Cardinals' guard in the rest of the film? You know, could you say, oh, he's the one that's killed by or stabbed, but you never see him again. It's like one scene.
Okay.
Yeah, and they gave him a name where I read he played two
Yeah.
parts, but I was like, oh, I wish I knew who the hell he was.
Yeah, actually, the other character he played is a character from the book that was actually in the other movie as well. But you know, it's a Cardinals guard that's a minor character,
Yeah.
same name. So
Yeah.
Joel and I have had Facebook conversations about this, and he looks, to me at least, surprisingly like Alan Rickman as the Doctor, at least. Which is because he doesn't look anything like him as this character in this
correct.
movie.
Anyway,
Sorry, Amy.
Anyway,
I'm sorry, you were saying?
3.75
was-
stars.
yeah, it wasn't nearly as slapsticky, and of course, Oliver Platt had to be the fat, goofy one. All of his shit I hated, and I don't dislike Oliver Platt, but I
Oh
hated
my
his
God, he had
character.
great lines.
Oh, they were so bad. They were not funny. Every joke you could see them all coming. Yeah. So I have nothing more to say. 2.25 stars. I am not a fan of the Three Musketeers. So next week
Wait,
we're going to
no.
watch the 1940s version since we
Yeah.
don't have anything to watch at the moment.
Yeah, we'll just you don't?
I thought we
do.
did.
We do.
Yeah,
Oh, I have a blank space on mine.
yeah, but we
Well,
talked.
you
about
can
that.
write my name. And that's a Taylor Swift reference there.
Oh, okay.
And she's not in this movie.
All right. Joel, you want to go next? Compare and contrast.
No, not really.
Juxtaposition.
All I will say is this. I saw it in 1993 or 94 when I can't remember. I didn't see it in theaters, so I must have seen it on video because it would have come out.
I definitely saw this before.
When it was definitely on video when I had my store, so I would have seen it at that point. I wasn't thrilled with it then. I'm not thrilled with it now. And back then,
Don't you think, Joel, it just kind of happened and then it was over?
yeah,
Was Robin Hood Prince of Thieves before or after this?
Yes, this is
2 years
definitely patterned off of Robin Hood Prince of Thieves in so many ways.
This is
Including-
before it or after it?
This is after.
After.
2 years after it, and it
Yeah.
also had Brian Adams and who else was I thinking of? One of the actors was in it.
I think it's just Brian Adams is singing and Michael Kamen did the music.
No, Michael Wincott was also, instead of having a patch, he had the
Right.
same long hair and the same sword as the sheriff's right-hand man, just like the Cardinal's right-hand man.
Yeah.
He played the same exact role.
Aha.
And here's one of the things
So
I
they
was
figured that was a big hit. Why not do this?
that was part of it. At the time, there were actually 3 different studios working on 3 different versions of the Three Musketeers, and at the end of the day, this is the only one that actually got made for a variety of reasons not worth going into.
And do you think Oliver Platt is saying now, why didn't I have a big career? Because the other 3 certainly had big careers.
Bigger than him, but he's pretty good.
Much bigger than him.
I don't know. I if I had to pick a movie based on one of those actors, I will always go with Oliver Platt first, because I think he's the better actor of the 3.
Correct, but not the most.
He's
Not the most popular one.
No, but
prolific.
When have I ever cared about popularity?
Obviously, never. It's considering the movies you make us watch.
Exactly. So anyway, what I was going to say.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm interrupting again.
Yes,
Amy, when I said on a Facebook post, some of us don't even watch the movies for the Monday Movie Club, I was referring to you.
Yeah, I know. Why? What did you?
Just wanted to bring that up.
I only didn't watch one movie in 4 years.
Yeah, that's not. I wouldn't bust your chops over
Why?
that.
He keeps busting my chops over one movie that I had to go to the theater for.
Oh my gosh, you had to leave the house.
Well,
All right, Joel. Sorry.
Thank you, Mark.
Anyway,
in conclusion,
the conclusion, I barely started.
Wrap it up.
I'm gonna just if you let me finish, I will wrap it up. The one thing I realized during I don't care about long credits at the beginning of the movie. They set a tone, they do whatever, and I realized.
No, I was just making fun of Mark on that.
No, I know. I'm saying I don't care about them. I realized that the screenwriter for this film was the same guy who wrote the script for Star Trek V. So that's all I have to say about that. The movie gets a 2.5 from me for the cast. If the cast wasn't involved in this movie, it would get a 2. And I'm not sure why, because the script is horrible. It's a bad adaptation. It's historically inaccurate. Some of the dialogue is just, I wanted to stab my eyes out because of it. It's just painful. And it is definitely a ripoff of the equally painful Robin Hood,
Prince of Thieves,
or whatever it is.
Prince of
Men in Tights. I wish it was that.
You know what? I tried showing the kids that about a year ago, and they both looked at me like, "This is not funny." I was like, "You know what? You're right. It's not."
No, it's not.
So, anyway,
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is going on next year, though. Now,
I mean, but in the realm of things, 1993 is this?
Yes.
So Mark was 12, so he enjoyed it.
I'm 18.
Well, that's even worse. You should have been mature. Maybe not.
It's in my notes. That's in my notes.
He only got mature and sophisticated in 2020.
Yeah.
Yes, when we 2021 when we started doing this.
Yeah, I was going to say when we got away from the MCU a little bit.
And come on,
what?
Go ahead.
I was just saying, you could totally see why the studio would want to make a movie with these actors.
Oh, sure.
Those actors were in their prime at that time.
Yeah. Oh, and just to say, this is one of the first Disney films, if not the first, maybe the only.
I know what you're going to say. Yeah, I read that.
That somebody kills themselves in the movie.
Well, at least Amy didn't want to kill herself after the movie.
No, only during the 4 hours it took me to watch it.
How does it take you 4 hours to watch a movie?
Pause.
I write while I'm watching.
3 things, though. Hold on. How much did you write?
No, it's not about notes. I talk my notes into the phone. This was just about, let me check Facebook. Let me answer.
Oh, I thought you were writing notes. Okay.
I hate this movie. Let me look
why
at my
I said
phone.
I will schedule out a block for a specific movie, and this is what I'm watching, and the iPad's over there in the room, and
a true.
The only thing I'm on the computer watching, and I have my document up with the notes that I could type on. That's it. Annie King, you must have enjoyed it. Come on. Did you see it in 1993?
No.
I thought if there was one person that's going to be on my side, it's going to be Annie.
I'm really all for historical fiction and stuff, but this wasn't after seeing the last two, I like this is that much better because it wasn't as slapsticky, and definitely the fighting scenes were better, but I'm it's enough. I was like, okay.
I blame Joel. Joel ruined this for me. This was my movie.
It might have
It
turned
was his
out
My
African
differently.
movie.
revenge for every other Flash Gordon and the Frighteners and I don't know, whatever.
Yes, it might have made a difference if I saw this one first before the other two.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right too. Yeah.
And regardless, Mark, we did all like this one better, except for,
So we're all for one.
oh,
No,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm not.
Aim, I believe the word is irregardless.
Yeah, because I guess like just three movies in a row with all this sword fight and
I was afraid
everything.
of that.
Which,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as an
Yeah.
aside, I started watching Daredevil, the series, like season one, and I'm like, do we have to have this big like fight every single episode where he's beating somebody up? And I'm only
Yes, we
on
do.
episode 4.
Yes.
So
Well, you've already passed the best fight scene in that series, so
It's all downhill from here.
yeah. So yeah, I I just felt like it just felt strange. There was really no French accents. There was
Again, no, there was some of them had American accents, like
hey, at least the last
Oliver
film
and
they were
Charlie just
in
gave up.
Europe, you know.
They were British. Yeah, in the last one.
yeah, they
All
you
for
know,
one and one for all, you know?
they cut out that whole Constance thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know which version was more correct.
The 70s version is more accurate to the book.
No,
Right.
you just after these
Yeah.
3 movies, I now have to go and get the book
Yeah.
and read
Well,
them.
that's good. It inspired you to read. That's great.
Yes, because there was so many historical inconsistencies actually. Because so then I'm looking it up, and it's like he was 8 when he was king, but the queen was really, running the country, and then he had the Versailles built as a lodge. So this version of Versailles wasn't even.
Actually, I was mistaken last week, partially because I was exhausted. They weren't at Versailles
Oh, good.
in that film. They were I think they were at the Tuileries, was the palace just outside of Paris, as opposed to Versailles, which is like 20 miles away. So that would have been more accurate. This, I'm assuming, is the same concept because it definitely wasn't Versailles. So.
Okay, yeah.
And when you refer to the Queen running things, that was his mother, not Anne, because Anne wasn't.
Right. No, not Anne. Yeah.
The Queen Mother.
Yes. And that all that stuff would make a great movie in and of itself. There's some great stuff in that history, but
Joel, why didn't you write it?
yeah, I'm not going to do that. Richelieu never. The way they portrayed Richelieu in this film is completely historically inaccurate. He was never that.
Devious.
Yeah,
Hungry to be king.
he was more like the way Heston played him in the previous films, where he's kind of
Boring.
guiding things.
I like Tim Curry twirling
I
his
thought
Yeah,
Tim Curry was
definitely.
perfect for the part he
Yeah.
played.
Yes, for this
That's
film
right.
again.
Yes.
Lots
Yeah.
of scenery chewing, but it worked for this film. So
Yeah.
anyway, sorry.
You didn't star us.
I would go with a 2.75.
Yeah.
Not quite the 3.
Yeah.
But again, that might have been because we watched the other 2 last week.
Yeah. Too much musketeering.
Yeah.
Mark G, I must say, I definitely remember liking it when in 1993. So
Yeah, and before I get to my
don't
notes,
feel you need to defend yourself.
no. Before I get to my notes, though, I will say I get especially what Joel is saying about it's not a fair adaptation, but I come from watching this movie, not reading a book, not seeing any
Yeah.
other films.
Yeah.
So this is my Three Musketeers. So I
Right. It's a
loved it.
fun adaptation.
It's fun and it's cheesy, whatever, but it's the version I know. That's why I like it so much. So now I'll go to my notes. I love the cast, but it was funny how young they look now watching it now that I'm so mature and sophisticated. I like the lines. Yes, it's cheesy, but I thought Porthos was hilarious. Sorry, Amy, that you did not. Tim Curry clearly had fun with the role. And I wrote yes here again. It's a little cheesy, but to me in a fun Disney way. Um, and these are who I
I don't
think
know
of
if it's a Disney way, but okay,
it's cheesy. It's just I don't know.
fine.
It's a cheesy, fun movie. And these are who I think of as the characters, and I've seen this movie 20 times. So watching the earlier versions last week threw me a bit. But I do have to throw it out to Faye Dunaway. I thought made a great Milady. Um, it's 3 1/3 stars for me. And Danielle wanted to join, and she's at 3.5 stars, just so you know.
Wow.
Did
But
she
we were
watch
out.
the other two?
No.
She refused.
Yeah.
She refused. But we were out last night at a free Norwalk Chorale concert, and she went to sleep after 11 o'clock. So she's still in bed. She needs like 10 hours of sleep every night. And we saw Andrea yet again last night, by the way,
Nice.
and Marshall.
Because our viewers need to know that.
Yes.
Our
We don't
viewer
have any.
needs to know that.
We don't have any viewers. Come on.
Yeah, okay.
We don't.
By this point, it's just us. We can say whatever the fuck we want.
Ooh.
All right. Is that it? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Again, this is so many of our choices this year are nostalgia fueled,
Yeah,
and this is another one, obviously from our.
certainly my
Uh,
next one
I
is.
just want to say one more odd thing about the film to me is that when the movie ends, the first credit we see is not the cast like you normally would,
No, right.
fucking song,
Yeah.
which is, sure, it's great to hear Rod Stewart, Sting, and Bryan Adams, which almost sounds like what I would call a hat trio. Somebody picked 3 names out of a hat and put them together.
It is a little bizarre.
um, but
Not really, because they're right. They're all like he's Canadian, they're British, so it's like a British Canadian thing.
Oh, sure, that's a thing. British
Sure.
Canadian.
Yeah.
It's a terrible song. That's all that matters.
Oh, I don't mind it. I don't
I will
mind
say
it.
this.
Cheesy.
One of
It's
the
no
things-
everything I do for you.
Sure. One of the things I will say, and a bit to Mark's credit here, is that because it is a Disney film, it does harken back to some of the films Disney himself actually was involved with in the 50s and 60s, like Treasure Island and Rob Roy and things like that. So it does have that history.
Yeah, I could definitely, but I don't equate this to any Disney movie. I don't see where he's going.
I'm trying to equate it to that because honestly, in the 90s, this probably should have been a Touchstone or Hollywood film based on just the cast
Touchstone.
alone.
Yeah.
Jerry
So,
Bruckheimer.
it is Jerry Bruckheimer.
And would have been more explosions and
Oh, yes, there would have been more explosions.
All right. Okay. Well, that's it for this one. You can watch The Three Musketeers on Disney Plus, as we talked about, or rent it from Prime. I just saw it.
yeah,
Congratulations.
and floating.
Are you
Butterflies.
congratulating somebody?
Explosion.
Explosions.
Okay. Next week, Amy forgot. We are going back to the Franken list with our number 6 entry, which is Psycho
Oh, fuck,
from
really?
1960.
week?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's available on Netflix, so you don't have to rent it anywhere.
Right.
I'm Frank Gaffney. Go watch our movie.
Yeah, and also with you.